I'm fired up listening to all of you, looking at our next wave of leaders coming up here. There are some beasts up here that are not even SMDs that are just crushing it. And so I'm excited about our next wave of CEOs, our next wave of SMDs, and just walking around in between meetings, meeting a bunch of you that I've never got to meet before, and my heart is just full right now. Sean and I, like he was saying, I want you guys to know how much we appreciate all that you do every day. We've been in your shoes. We know what it takes to first just even believe that you have what it takes to get this job done. The time that you're away from your kids. You know, I'm grateful to be asked to be on the boards at World Financial Group now. And I'll tell you the things that literally in tears sometimes with Susan and the board over there at Aegon. And I said, you guys don't know. You're corporate. You don't know that at night sometimes they don't get to tuck their kids in bed. And that their families are worried for them. And that their parents, because they love them, are saying, quit this business. You don't know what we go through. Some of these guys are working all day long in the beginning, just chasing a dream. So we're constantly telling them to give more to you. And I think now in Hawaii, in March, even more good ownership, even probably more comp is coming to the field. So we've been working on your behalf, and we always want to, the philosophy is, it always has to be better for us, like for the new people coming in, than it was for us. But now it's kind of getting to the point that it's constantly getting better and better and better and better. So be careful with that, because it's so easy to make money now, and so easy to become comfortable that we don't even have to do much, really not even that many appointments a day, and you're making a good six-figure income. I'll tell you, this business is not built just to have a great income. It's built for you to build an incredible life, a life of service and lifting others. You saw how energetic Rich Dolly was, yes? And poor Cap, he is feeling better. But he's in his 70s. Both these guys are. And they're so youthful. I was talking to Todd Buchanan less than a week ago, and he said, I want to meet this great cat. Everybody says so many wonderful things about him. He said, he's in Florida? And he asked me, he's in his 70s, does he drive? I'm like, does he drive? He's more energetic than my 25-year-olds on my team. But I know that the reason these guys are so youthful and so energetic is because all day long, they're just working in the lives of others, serving others. You guys inspire us. Do you understand that? So I wanted to share a couple of things with you. First, I'm going to start off with our goals for the year. Cap said it the other night when we were on the phone with him, but I want you to have this in your notes, and I want you to start to think about this year, what part of this are you going to do, okay? We want to be a field chairman team by convention. I'm telling you right now, the company needs us to be a field chairman team by convention, and an EC, executive chairman team, that would be the second after Penny, female executive chairman in all of WG. 20,000 new business partners in Team Revolution. 20,000 new chances to change families' lives. 20,000 new families that'll come aboard and get exposed to this environment and have a mentor, sometimes for the first time in their life, that actually cares about their children and wants them to win and will be their cheerleader and stand by them, hold their hand for as long as it takes to win. 20,000 new business partners coming in, and 100 million points this year. It's a lot. We can do it. That's a lot of families being helped. So I was talking to the SMDs, and I told them in the SMD meeting that 2023 was an incredible year for us. Every SMD SMD had growth. That was the first time ever that that's happened. Some of them were just a little bit growth, but some of them were 460% growth. And it was really a transformational year for us. We rolled out a new system last fall, right? And we gotta stop calling it the new system, because it's just the system now. But we rolled that out, and that was a very transformational year. And I was talking to Jake Prevett actually just a few minutes ago in the back of the room, and he said he's going for a 2 million point base shop this year. He's fired up, and because he realized how easy it actually is in the new system. And we were talking about that, and I said, listen, Jake, at the beginning of last year, you didn't really even know how to write sales properly. At the beginning of last year, your licensing was like 5%, and now it's like 26%. And this happened not with just Jake, but with everybody across the board. Everybody's metrics, every category, licensing to ratios, all of it improved to where now we are at 4,700 points per recruit, which we've never ever done in Team Revolution, ever. And it's so solid. So when we launched this last year, if you guys remember, I said it's gonna take about 2 years, yeah? For it to take. Well, congratulations, you guys are awesome. It only took 1 year, right? So we are there. And if you can remember what I said, once we had it solid and it was in place, it was a lot of work by the CEOs and a lot of, just really making an effort to grow and change. As SMDs and $500,000 earners and these guys, they're very comfortable because they've been doing the same scripts and the same thing for so long. It's hard to change. And I wanted to can we just give all of your SMDs and CEOs a round of applause? The effort that they took to help all of you this year. And we did it in 1 year. So now we are ready for phase 2, which is the most exciting part, and it's the volume. We have everything. If we pour the volume, all these new business partners coming in, if we pour this volume into this system, it's not going to slip through the cracks. You know what it is going to be? New ring earners, new 7-figure earners, new families' lives being changed, all these new superstars. New Daniel Fombos will come out of this team in the next couple of years, and they're not even on a prospect list yet. This is what, right? So you have to have volume thinking. So I want to challenge you guys just for a couple things, and then I'm going to get into a couple other things. But I want you to think. I heard a bunch of you guys talking about how much you like the theme. Race car going off the stage and weird stuff like that. But I want you to think of NASCAR or Formula One, and they had a picture up last night during the gala of a pit stop, right? And all the guys kind of waiting for the car to come in. I want you to think of this as your pit stop. Some of you guys are coming in with some crashes, and some of you guys are coming in with bald tires. But this event, you're leaving, every one of you, ready to go. Full tank of gas, brand new tires, ready to race. And so if you're not an SMD, just want you guys to know, your goal is to get to SMD. And if you are an SMD, your goal is to what? Promote SMDs. And that is your race this year. And we launched this kind of new system, and now it's very clear. MD very, very fast. Getting to MD very, very fast. So I wanted to show you something. If you can pull up this slide. Now, I'll talk to all of you, because there's every level of person in this room. Raise your hand if you are not licensed. Not licensed yet. Okay? So you're in the non-profit side of our business. Helping the Hawaiians, helping the family, right? And clapping. But we want you to be profitable as fast as possible. So I'm going to tell you something right now. If you are not licensed, raise your hand again. I'm going to do something for you right now. We have, 10 days left in the month? The only way to pass your test is to cram. It's not taking a couple practice tests here and there. It's sitting down like I did for 2 days straight, looking at something that looked like a completely different language, and doing test after test after test after test until you get 80%, and you go take your test. So if you leave here, and you study all day tomorrow, and you study all day Monday, you should pass your test on Tuesday. So all of you unlicensed people, I'm going to give you till the end of the month. I think that's about 10 days or so. I'm going to challenge you. We need you to run with us. We need to, with our new fresh tires, screech out of this thing and start to make it happen. So all of you unlicensed, if you get licensed by the end of the month, January 31st, all of you unlicensed people, then Coleman and I, Michael Coleman, you saw how many number ones he got last night? He's a $2 million earner. He and I are going to teach you how to make $100,000 at least your first year. Okay? But you have to pass that test by January 31st. Okay, now if you are licensed and you are not an associate yet, from today and the next 30 days, all I want you to do is help 3 families and get 3 new business partners. 330, the next 30 days. You can get 3 new business partners and each of them could be compliant, and then that counts. Does that make sense? I want all of you racing out of here towards your next promotion. Now, for everybody else, raise your hand if you're already an associate, you're already licensed. Of course, if you're not net licensed, let's get that done in the next 30 days. MD. The culture will change this year that MD is fast and MD is easy. And people coming into our business will come in, get licensed in 2 weeks. Their first month, they'll be licensed and appointed. In month 2, they will be associates, 330, right? And associates and net license. Now, month 3, if you do those 2 things, your MD is going to take personal time coaching you so that you can do all the illustrations, like you can really do this business. Like what Kafir was talking about, he said be a professional. That's month 3. We're gonna get you really solid on that. And you're already making money. And then month 4 through 6, so anybody else that I haven't mentioned yet, you're licensed, you're running for MD, okay? MD contract is enough for you to be full-time. MD contract is enough for you to say, I can do this. I can make 7 figures here. An MD contract, you shouldn't be thinking about your jobs anymore. You should be thinking about, screw this guy. When can I give my 2 weeks? And strategizing of how you're gonna plant your flag here. So everybody else, I want you running for MD. And all MD is you have 5 licenses on your team. So you wanna get more people, obviously, but if you have people on your team that are not licensed, what should you be doing? Should you have a test date? When's your test date? Let's book your test date. Okay, can I help you study? Be like, what's that guy, Gordon De Leon? The guy that brought in Rich? Let's get your fingerprints done. Come on, I'll drive to your house. Whatever I have to do. You just need 5 people that want to change your family's life. Is that a lot? It's not. And then how many families is it? An MD promotion is 3 months in a row. So January, February, March. It's $1,000 in premium a month between you and your whole team. What's $1,000 premium? It's about 4 families helped. It's about 4 families helped. That's it. Now, you heard Ed say it when he spoke yesterday, and you probably heard a few others talking about it, but there's going to be an event March 27th. It's going to be in Nashville. People keep asking me like it's my event. It is not. It is Rich and Ed's event. And it's for SMDs. It's for SMDs. So a bunch of you guys, maybe you want to try to think about getting to SMD as fast as possible. But I'm going to give you one favor. If you are already an MD right now, you got to be SMD to get there. Okay. But if you are not an MD right now, and you get to MD, not SMD, but if you get to MD by March 27th, you'll get invited to that meeting as well. So, you got your new tires. We're racing January, February, March. Use your leaders, use your SMDs, use me and Sean. We are here to help you guys. We want you to win so bad. So this is March 27th. Now, I wanted just to kind of share with you my feelings a little bit about this. You know, we talk about titles, and we talk about being an entrepreneur, and we talk about points, and we talk about, you can take that down, you guys. We talk about these 100 million club, there's so much, and acronyms, IUL, all these things. But a lot of people just shared their stories, right, over the last couple days. And why WFG? When I came in this business, I was just like you guys. I came to a meeting like this, and I was on the fence. Like, I don't even know if this is for me. I'm coming to this meeting to see if I'm gonna quit or not. I thought a lot of the people were really weird. The meetings went really long. You think our meetings go long? If your butt's numb right now, John Shin kept me till 2 a.m. most nights. Taking notes. Toon's shaking his head like that's very true. And don't you dare get up while John's talking. So, I came to this business hating my job. I had worked for a company that had me working 11 o'clock to 10 p.m., usually 11, 12 hours a day. I grew up in poverty in Montana, in a town of, now it's 325 people. Like a village. It's Saturday. I could tell you what every one of my friends is doing tonight that I went to high school with. Like Todd Buchanan said when he was up there, nothing changes. There's no personal development. There's no examples of success. There's depression. In that area, it's one of the highest rates of suicide. And I grew up there, living in this little trailer on the edge of town. And I remember, sounds really weird, but I remember going to my back bedroom, it's freezing cold, and there was mushrooms growing in my hallway from the carpet. And I'm like, how poor are we? I remember hearing my parents talk about how they were going to try to ask a friend for a pig so we could eat. I remember waking up in the morning before school one time and I could see my breath because we had run out of propane heat in our house. And I remember telling my little sisters, come in the bathroom. I plug in a little space heater and I'm singing songs with them and brushing their hair and hoping that they didn't feel scared like I did. I watched my parents go through divorce. I watched my stepmom become ill and having bad doctors and having, I think, over 50 surgeries now, and feeling just helpless. So I came to California, I'm working, I'm corporate America, there's no high five, I'm working my butt off, I'm like, give me a high five at least. There was no trophies, there was no giving out race cars or anything. And then I found this business. Luckily, a lady came into the gym I was working at and she said, oh, you're so good with people, you should meet my husband. He's looking for sharp people. She didn't even know any scripts, you guys. You're so scared to talk to people, some of you. Scripts don't even really matter anymore because so many people are looking for change. They're looking for a better quality of life for their family. But all she said was like, hey, you seem like you're good with people. Have you ever thought of doing something else? I said, yes. Why? What? And she said, well, you should meet my husband. He's looking for good people. And she didn't even know how to set the appointment. She said, do you want to come in on Saturday on your day off? That was it. And I did. You can't really say the wrong thing to the right person. Someone who's hungry, someone who wants to be somebody. So I came in and I saw BPM. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so weird. These people are so weird. They make us stay so late. I went to my first big event with that mindset of, I'm probably going to quit. This will give me that, confirmation. But when I left there, I was like, you know what? This company was built for me. Someone like, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. I saw all these people with every race and every nationality and male and female and all the genders winning at incredible, wasn't Charity awesome yesterday? Charity, when she said that, when she was a nurse and the old man said, you came all the way from Africa to wipe my butt? Imagine if she didn't find WG, how different her life is. She's just getting started, making $1.6 million. She's still figuring it out. She doesn't know how to do any type of admin. She doesn't know how to do rollovers yet. But she believes. So when I went to the big event, yes, I took notes on how to do this and how to do that and 330s and all those things. But I took notes in my heart of just the belief. That's what they had. That was the common denominator. That, you know what, I'm not there yet. My skills aren't there yet. I don't have the market yet. I was 22 and I looked like I was 12. And I didn't know very many people. And I didn't think anyone would listen to me. But I had enough belief to at least give it a shot. Thank God they had enough belief, not in me, but in the system, to give me a shot. So I came in, and just like you, I had to get licensed. Back then we had lots of licenses, not just the one that we had to get before we could make money. I failed one of my tests. I think I cried all the way back to the office. Set up my test date for 2 weeks later. I invited people, no one showed. I booked appointments, they flaked. I recruited 1, 3 quit. Same challenges as you guys. I just remember thinking, when I'm 32, they'll finally start to listen to me. So when I turned 32, I decided to stop aging, because that was when it was starting to work. So I got licensed, I started doing appointments. My average sale was $50 a month, because that was my market. I brought my trainer, because we had to drive to all the appointments. I brought my trainer to appointments 3 hours away in traffic to a referral appointment. And then I would knock on the door, and you could tell they were in there because you could see the curtain. But no one would come to the door. And then he would take me to Wendy's, and we would get a Frosty, and he'd say, "It's okay. You're gonna make it. I believe in you." But finally I got licensed. I practiced over and over the presentations. We didn't have flip charts back then. You are so lucky to have flip charts. We had to memorize everything and just write it all out on a legal pad. But I would practice over and over and over on my cat, Kimmy, on Sean, in the mirror. I'd record myself. I would listen to myself say the script over and over and over and over. And then I would finally do it. And I remember my first appointment. It was a single dad. He worked at Bally's with me, and he would re-rack the weights. Put the weights back up in the gym. And he was a single dad, and I remember writing that $150 VWell. And I was in my office, and he'd ask a question, then I'd run down the hall and ask my SD, "What is the answer to this?" And he'd tell me, I'd run back, I'd get a signature. I'm like, hold on, let me make sure, didn't miss any signatures, run back to his office. That VWell is still in place. He has a ton of money, and his family's totally protected. And guess what? I still get paid on it. And guess what? If something happens to me, Sean will get my business. If something happens to us, Daisy will get my business. You understand? We have the best company, the best ownership program. No one in our industry has what we have. But even if we didn't have any of that, you know what we have? This environment. It's like brothers and sisters helping each other, and the leadership that, man, even you new people, you can see the quality of leadership that we have with a guy like Rich Gully and Ed Milet. None of these other companies have that. So I'm going to encourage you guys all to do this, whether you're a CEO or a trainee. Put yourself in a position to increase your faith, to increase your belief. Believe in the system. Believe in our products. Believe in your leadership. Believe in yourself. Coming to events like this is like a little drop in that bucket of belief. If she can do it, I can do it. You can do it. Listen to me. You all have every single thing it takes to win at the highest levels, far beyond what Swan Win is already doing right now. Do you understand that? You all have it. You need to increase your volume. You need to understand what you have. It's like as if you're sitting on a gold mine and you're like, man, I'm so broke. I don't know what to do. Just get in there and start digging. Not everybody's gonna say yes. Not everybody's gonna be like, yeah, this is what I've been waiting for all my life. What took you so long to ask? Not everybody's like, yeah, put those policies on me. I have 4 little kids. People still are gonna say no. They still say no to me and to Sean. But I came in, I got to work, I made the phone calls, but then something happened. My leader said, he's like, you're 22, you have no kids. I don't know if I want to invest my time into you. You need to figure out what your whys are. It has to be more than just making money. I said, well, can it be like, I want to win and compete and be number 1? And he's like, that's not enough. So okay, well, how about travel the world? Not enough. And so he challenged me to write down 10 whys. And it was hard at first. Like, I'm young, I'm single, I'm traveling. I don't want to have my family have to stress about money like I did in my household. I didn't want my kids to have to hear me argue with my spouse about which bill we can pay. And I wasn't until number 8 on my list, digging very deep. Invest time into figuring out what gets you emotional, which pisses you off, what makes you cry, what makes you angry, what makes you, this has to happen. It's a must. You will work and achieve what you need, not what you want. Understand? If it's just a want, I want a nice house. I want to live in a better neighborhood. I want my kids to go to this school. You won't work hard enough. You're an entrepreneur. It's going to be adversity, you guys. But if it's something you need, you will figure out a way to make it happen, won't you? Who's a parent? If your kids were starving and you were broke, would you figure out a way to feed those kids?
Yes.
You figure it out. You'd make it happen. So you have to figure out this is not okay that my parents are gonna work till they're dead. It's not okay that they're living on Social Security only and they're eating freaking beans. It's not okay that my parents are 60 and 70 and 80 years old and still freaking cleaning houses. It's not okay. And so for me, yes, I wanted to retire my dad, and that was one of my biggest whys at first, and I wanted to, he just was in the hospital a couple weeks ago, and my sisters know whatever it is, I can write a check. My first whys were my little sisters, because I had come out here from Montana, but they were still in that trailer with the roof caving in freaking wintertime. And there was 2 little twins that had just been born at 9 months old, and my 9-year-old sister was raising them with their mom addicted to the drugs after all those surgeries, the narcotics, can't get out of bed. And my little sister's digging through couch cushions to find change to get milk for the babies. That was a need to change that situation for my sisters. Those are my first whys. Now my whys are my little kids. Actually, is Sean and Daisy still back there? Are they back there? Can they come out here? So some of you guys know my family. These are my whys now. And of course, Austin and Brody, and you guys know little Vinny. These are my whys. And I saw in WFG these families, like Folly. My gosh, those generational wealth and the things that he wants to do and the posterity. And if each generation is better than the last, imagine what 12 generations of Follies is going to do to change the world. And so for my kids, I wanted a different type of life for them. And I wanted, if you could share Daisy, she's 18. She just got coded in WFG.
Woo!
But I wanted her to share 1 or 2 minutes on the kids' perspective in growing up in WFG. Because some of you guys think that you are making a sacrifice. maybe you're taking time away from your family, and you ask yourself if it's worth it, I'll tell you, 1,000,000% it's worth it. It's not easy, but it's worth it. So, go ahead real quick.
All right, good afternoon, WG. Woo! Congratulations! Alright, so I'm Daisy. Those are my wonderful parents. I'm sure you've heard plenty of embarrassing stories about me. Alright, I was raised, a lot of you guys watch me grow up in this company. Every time I come to these events with my parents, I get so many people coming up to me and they're like, Daisy, do you remember me? And I'm like, and they're like, I used to change your diaper. And I'm like, I am so sorry. Right? So my point there is I was raised in this company. I grew up learning this business. You know, I didn't really understand it, but I saw the impact that it made. You know, this community has meant everything. Like growing up around people with such strong minds, building their dreams, it's been really cool for me and my brothers to grow up around. It's been an amazing experience. I wanted to emphasize what my dad said when he came up here before he introduced my mom on the stage. He said, we love you. They really, really do love all of you. I love you guys, you know. I don't even know a lot of you, so I'm sorry. But this is my second family, for sure. I have grown up seeing the impact that it's made on so many people. I have been raised to believe and know that I can achieve my dreams. I've been raised to have the courage to do what it takes to build my dream life, you know? And I think that's something that's so important for your kids to learn. Not to shut them down, shut down their questions, you know, teach them like, this is possible. Watch us do it, you can do it, you know? I think so many people are afraid to take those steps, to take those risks, you know, to work towards their dreams. But think about it, when we're all kids, you know, you're learning to walk, you stand up, fall down on your butt. Stand up again, fall back down on your butt. Stand up, you take a little step forward, fall down on your face, right? So just like when you're learning to walk, you're not just gonna stand up and start walking, you know? That's the same when you're starting out and you're trying to take those first steps to build towards your dream. You're gonna fall down on your butt, you're gonna fall down on your face. It's gonna be hard, but it'll be worth it, and your kids will thank you. WFG is the dream, and I just got coded, and I can't wait to start chasing the dream with all of you guys. So.
She's 18, she just started college. If you look at her Instagram, she's posting at my leg. But she grew up with her aunties and uncles being Rich Dolly, her papa being Grey Cat, her hero being Dana, like a tuna, and Johanna Mock Kids, and she really loves Olivia. And I remember like walking by her bedroom door and she has her quotes up, her inspirational quotes up, and it's Dana's quote that she heard on some conference call. And I walk into, it's not just her, Austin wanted to come to this meeting and I'm like, no, you're not gonna miss school, you can come next year. He really wanted to come. But he has his business plan and his goals. And he wants to do a certain amount of pull-ups and get good grades and move up rankings in his football stuff and his wrestling stuff, and he's applying it to every area of his life. He learned it from you. So my next why when I came into business was I wanted to be my kids' heroes. I didn't want their heroes to be like Miley Cyrus or freaking the Kardashians or some crap that they see on TV or whoever the media holds up there. And I was just in Montana, and some of my whys now are my little nieces. I was sitting at the kitchen table with them, and one of the kids said like how Sean and I don't drink alcohol and these things. And one of the nieces says, I don't know any adult who doesn't do drugs or alcohol. They only know that little tiny town. And I'm grateful that I paid a price so I could be their hero now. Because they don't have anybody else to look up to that way. If you are wondering if it's worth it, I promise it's worth it. Our kids. And there was nights that I didn't get to tuck them in. And there was times that I missed a baseball game or something. But they know we have a family vision. They know that we're going out there to change the world. Daisy was not sure what she wanted to study in college, and she's like, I want to do something that's exciting, but also making an impact. I said, okay, and I never am going to push this business on any of my kids, to be honest. Like I was telling the spouses, like I told Austin, if you want to be a garbage man, I am 100% in support of that, as long as you love what you do and you feel like you are serving your community, But that was my next why. But I want to share some of these things. This is why for me for WFG. Why for me? That they're willing to give us a shot. Someone like me that didn't go to college, that didn't have any experience, that was 22 years old, that looked like she was 12, and they let me sign an AMA. They let you. Someone like Chun, who's such a good man, him and his wife and his team. Can you guys stand up? We are so happy that you are here with us. These guys are such great people. They're the Thai team. They're from Thailand. And I love that you guys can come in here and you're given a shot just like anybody else, and Chun's gonna go change the world. There's so many of you guys that have, thanks you guys, I'm so glad you're here. Or Aaliyah Sulawang, who stayed part-time for years. She had like $1 million saved part-time working with us. But it's because she didn't go full-time because she had lupus, and the state was giving her free insurance until if she worked a few more years. So she stayed working as a public defender. She was here, but would Merrill Lynch let her come in? That's a hell no. They wouldn't. I love this business. Why WFG is because they care about you. I was talking to John Gordon in the back of the room, and I was explaining how Rich Dolly is because John and Ed are friends. He's the guy who mentored Ed. And I said the difference of Rich is because everyone that he coaches knows, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that it's not about money at all. It's not about points or recruits or anything else. It's about families. It's about strengthening marriages. I know that he cares about my little sisters and my parents and my dad and my great cat asked me last week, can I adopt you? I said, yep. Right now, let's do it. Give me the paperwork. They care about you. I love that couples can be in business together here. I love it. People ask all the time, how can you do it? How can you work with your spouse? I'm like, how can you not? We're together all the time. We're chasing big visions and big dreams together all the time. We did it again just a couple weeks ago where we sat down on our bed with a legal pad on our lap and said, what's next? What difference would we want to make in our community, in our church, in our family, and in the world? And we got excited together. And we got other fun little dumb goals that Sean wants to do. I'm just kidding. But I love that we can chase, that the company loves that we're in business together. And then again, if one of us passes away, the family's still protected. All of our business, we own it. Through trails and our renewals immediately pass to our licensed spouse. I love that everything that we do is helping people. Everything. Whether it's sitting down, coaching someone on their mental toughness, coaching someone, for me, it seems like marriage counseling sometimes. You'd be surprised. I have a couple come in my office, fired up to go over their business plan, and then they're like, we haven't had sex in a year. Like, it's a different type of coaching today. All right. Sean, come in the room, right? But we have to, But I've also had people say, Jamie, you're the only person, you and Sean are the only people that we know in our whole life that has successful marriage. Here's the thing. We've all been frustrated. Who has not been frustrated with their team at some point? No one is, right? We've all been there. When the baby was crying and Dolly said, oh, it's okay, I run a bake shop, I'm used to it. We've all been frustrated. They're human beings, right? I remember calling Dolly one time, like, how do you do it? He's like, do what exactly? The SMDs. You think the bake shops are tough. So he said, Jamie, I love this quote. He said, Jamie, never weary in good works. What we do is good. Every step 1, every step 3, every F&A we take, every business planning session is building lives. It's strengthening families. It's strengthening people's self-esteem and self-worth for them to go be better mothers and fathers and husbands and wives and leaders in their community that are going to go make a difference. You understand? Everything, every single point of production is a family that was helped. Who else can say that? Unless you're like some nonprofit thing. And Violet used to say, we found a way to monetize nonprofit charity work. And then every time we do events like this, we can leave our footprint changing our communities like we just did for Hawaii, for Lahaina. You know when that happened? I remember, we love Lahaina, but there's a banyan tree right in the middle of town. And I thought, oh my gosh, for generations, they're not gonna see that amazing. You guys, have you seen that tree? Yeah, we've sat underneath that tree so many times, and then I was actually really in tears about just that tree alone, let alone all the lives. Did you guys know in Maui, when those fires happened, do you know what most of the deaths were? Children and elderly. Because school was out that day, because of the weather and the wind and the fire. And all the parents went out to work and left the grandparents home with the babies. And the fire swept in. Most of the deaths were the children. I'm proud of you and grateful that when we do these types of things to make a difference outside of WG, outside of our clients, that you guys are so willing to give. This is the best thing ever. I love you guys. Traveling the world, being able to give my mom checks when she needs it. I just had to write her a check for $20,000 for some stuff that her and my stepdad needed. Just had to write a bunch of checks for medication for my dad and things that he needed. To be able to be the go-to person in your family, that you're the one, people talked about that when something happens, you don't know what's coming around the corner. Things might be good now, but this is life. And none of us are gonna get pat and die without having adversity. And so things might be okay now, but you don't know what's coming around the corner. Maybe someone in your family gets sick, cancer, one of your kids, maybe you have a baby that has some complications. You don't know what's coming, and you need to be prepared for it. And this business gives you the mental toughness, the support group, and the money to do whatever needs to be done, do you understand, in those times of crisis. And it gives you leadership skills and the backing to go make a difference in the world out there. So my biggest goal is that you guys will come to meetings like this over and over. And each time, someone like Johanna maybe makes some comments, or Coleman makes some comments, or Jake makes some comments, or the Borwallers maybe are out in the hallway and give you some tips. And it's these little deposits in you, in your character, in your skills, in your leadership abilities, and your perseverance, that you're gonna go become the person that you're meant to become. Heavenly Father knows that you're here for a reason, and so do you. And there's two versions of you. There's the guy or gal that is, and the one that's meant to be. The one that you can be. And WG is one of the fastest vehicles to get you there. But it's not like this. It's like this. It's a bumpy freaking ride. And it's not easy. But again, it's worth it. and you're going to keep growing. Like Israel said, he was introduced to his faith here. One of my first leadership meetings I went to, Ed Milet said, someone who's a strong leader is growing closer to God. And I said, I want to work on that area of my life. And so I started praying. I started putting those things in my goals. This company has given me the most important aspect of my life, is having that strong foundation of faith. I love that we are in a company that we can even talk about that stuff. In corporate America, we can't talk about our families, or how much we love our husband, or how much our kids mean to us, or how much God is the reason that I am where I am today. He's with us, and I know that he has his hand on this company. If you knew what I knew, as my Les said the other day, that this is a company of destiny. He will take you and he'll put you in, I know this business was put in my path. It was a gift. It is my vehicle to make my mark. So some of my whys now, some of you guys know all of the stuff that I'm involved in, but some of my biggest whys now is to contribute in a massive way to end child sex trafficking. I also want to have a charity, a foundation that helps young women, young girls, with their self-worth, their self-confidence, their value. Another one is youth, childhood, teens, schizophrenia. It's one of the saddest things that I'm involved in. All these things. And so I'm working a lot with John Maxwell and others on my second half goals, like the second half of my life, and the things that I want to do to make my mark. Now, a lot of people just drift through life. They're reactive to whatever life throws at them. Oh, mom's sick, dog died, boss is a jerk. What's on TV tonight? We've been given the vehicle, the mentors, the environment, the products, everything that we need to become that second version of ourselves. The finish line, the checkered flag here is total, complete financial independence, totally wealthy, 4 generations like Thali said. But it's not just the money, it's not just the constant trips that we go on. That is not the best part of WFG. Becoming somebody and being on stage, like with John Hunter, that's not the best part. You know what the best part is? If you let it in your heart and you really throw yourself into personal development. I was in the back of the room and I was talking to one of the guys. He came back and he said, Jamie, I love this thing. He said, Jamie, I really want to go to the Happy and Strong event. Can I make payments on the $50? He said, yes, of course. He goes, I want to be a better husband and father. I don't want to yell at my kids. I want my wife and I to be on the same page. I said, of course. Then we started talking about personal development. I recommended a couple of books. And I said, here's what personal development is. Here's who you are. Here's what you want to be. You know you want to be doing or you ought to be doing. And then you just every day try to close the gap. And you're not perfect and you make mistakes, but you just keep getting better. And it could be about, again, as a father. And I got so emotional afterwards. I'm not going to point him out. But I'm just so appreciative I'm so grateful that you came and asked me those questions. Because it made me reflect, this is why I love WFG. Because we have these conversations with, I don't know, anybody have a boss that's going to go through that kind of conversation? Even an environment that there was someone that they could have, maybe your pastor, that's it. So that's why I love WFG. My biggest why has already come, and I keep working on bigger whys, but my biggest why was that I wanted my kids to grow up completely different than I did. I wanted them to have different opportunities, a different environment, that their parents weren't arguing about stuff, that we have a happy and strong home. And so my mom called me, this was about, a year or so ago. She called me and we were talking one morning, and she's got very emotional. And she said, Jaime, some of you guys read my book, she did not have a very good upbringing. But she said, Jaime, I wish that I grew up the way your kids are growing up. And it's not because of the money. Like I said, the best part is not the money, it's not the trips, it's not the points, it's not even that you're debt-free, completely debt-free. Imagine how good it would be. Imagine how great it would be. You have no mortgage payment. You have no debt. That when your kids ask, can I do karate? Can I do hockey? It's not a big deal. Tommy Picken's son that was probably the most emotional part of this event for me, was when his son, in the spouse meeting, he said, we would go to the movies and we could not get any snacks. We couldn't get any popcorn. We'd sneak our own snacks in. And then one day Dad said, get anything you want. No worries, no stress. Get the candy, get the popcorn, get the sodas, get the jumbo size. When he hit SMD, he took him to Disneyland, Magic Mountain. I grew up, I didn't even dare ask for stuff like that. Because money doesn't grow on trees. You don't have to always say no to your kids. Imagine how good it would be to have no financial stress. And all you're doing for work is coming and hanging out with your friends that you love. As good as you think it is, it's 1,000 times better. But that's not the best part. The best part is the person that you become. If you let W change your heart. If you keep going. If you don't quit. Greg Cap said something to me 2 days ago. He said, you know what my secret is? He said, I don't quit, and all these great guys just keep rolling up to me. The Daniel Fombos, right? Don't quit. All right, so we leave here with brand new tires, with a full tank of gas. January, February, March, you'll be going, if you're not MD, MD. If you have no clue how to do that, let us know and we'll help you, okay? But this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. We want more than anything, Sean and I want more than anything to get you guys, all of you guys, to where we're at. To a position that you're not worried about the money, but more importantly, that you have leadership skills and that you have the money to go change your communities, to go change your family's life for generations. And I'm hoping some of you, over time, will get the vision and the passion, maybe to even start some of your own charities. Maybe you're passionate about kids with autism, or sex trafficking, or whatever it may be. Maybe you want to have an orphanage in Thailand, or build wells in Vietnam, or the Congo, I don't know. But we're going to go change the world together. This is a very critical year for field chairman by convention. March 27th will be the first of the races, the first of the checkered flags. Rich and Ed have not done an event together in over 15 years. I cannot express to you enough how those meetings with those two together were the game changers in my business. You gotta get there, and we're gonna get there together. I'll just tell you last thing, please. I believe in this system so much that it doesn't matter how broken you are or how bad you are at the presentations or how scared you are to make a phone call right now. I believe that you can be one of our 7-figure earners. You today is different than you 6 months from now, 12 months from now, 3 years from now. So listen to me and believe me. Sean and I believe in you. You individually. We believe in you, that you have everything it takes. You gotta start to believe a little bit more in yourself and just start taking more action, putting more volume into this amazing system that we have. I got you these little giveaways, these little gifts. You can come up here and get them when we're done here. And they have little checkered flags. They have little race flags. And it says, no limits 2024. This company has no more limits. You can build across the country with Zoom. You have no territorial limits, products limits. You have, and I want you to be reminded of that. Maybe you're gonna keep it on your keychain. Maybe keep it in your shoe. Put it in your shoe until you hit MD. So every day you can feel that uncomfortable thing. Make more phone calls. Maybe you put it in your pocket. So every day you put it in your pocket, right? So that you can say, oh yeah, put it on your bathroom counter when you go to bed. Put it in your pocket the next day. Remind yourself of your goals. Remind yourself of your whys. And let's finish this race together, yes? All right, love you guys.